looks about right, nice and straight, just the way that I like it. Cool. Hi there. Welcome to Stop Games. No relation to GameStop. We're a different chain. We have all sorts of, variations of games. We don't just sell the latest games. We also sell a variety of games. Could be new, could be old, somewhere in between. My philosophy as the owner of Stop Games is that I like to think that games are timeless, no matter the age or what it looks like. Present day, the content is what's important, so that's kind of what I bring. Although we will stock our shelves with the latest and greatest and most popular games as well, because supply and demand, what can I say? But my name is Randy, by the way. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. Is there anything specific you're looking for today? Anything at all? I will check in the back and see if we have it, and hopefully you'll be on your way to having yourself a grand old time. That's my goal anyway, Okay. Well, a variety is good. That's my specialty. I'll tell you what, I have some games prepared here. I was just preparing for today's showing. I've got some PlayStation 4 games, some PlayStation 3 games if you want to kick it a little bit more old school, but not too old school. And I also have some Nintendo DS games if you're a fan of the handheld genre. And at this point, the Nintendo DS, let's be honest, it's kind of old school. No one's really doing that right now. It's all about the 3DS right now, you know what I mean? Although I think I have a couple of 3DS games there. I don't remember exactly, but we'll check and we'll see. So, yeah. So what do you say we start with the PlayStation 4 games and we can go backwards in time from there? I can show you some cool games we've got. Sound good? Awesome. Let me grab some real quick. All right. Well, first, we gotta start off with a bang, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about Red Dead Redemption 2, my friend. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh man, this game. If you've played Red Dead Redemption, the first one, 10 years ago or so, 2010, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, actually I have it in the back too. I'll show it to you later. Oh yeah, man. Red Dead Redemption 2. Beat this game in its entirety. And what can I say besides this game is absolutely amazing, worth every penny you can spend. In case you're not familiar, it takes place in the Wild West. You're basically a cowboy outlaw running from the government with your gang. It's called the Vanderlyn Gang. And you're going into towns and you're committing crimes, robbing people, and there's conflict within the gang and all sorts of good stuff, but you will get into shootouts, gunfights, riding horses, collecting horses. Man, it's great. Like, there's a whole subsection. I don't know what that was. I apologize, I'm excited. There's a whole subsection of the game that you can dedicate to just hunting. You can be a hunter in this game if you want. Run around the greenery and just hunt boar and deer, collect their pelts and sell it to the shopkeepers if you want to do that. You can collect different herbs and mushrooms and shit if you want to sell that, or make potions or remedies or whatever. Just chill by the campfire if that's your thing. Of course, there's the storyline. There's an online mode too. But it's just a great game. It's so detailed, and just the music and the atmosphere and everything just sucks you into the game. You're just like, you feel like you're there. Even from like riding your horse and you hear the galloping and just everything is just so, it's like a masterpiece, like a literal piece of artwork just unfolding in front of your eyes. Truly, I recommend 100%. If you're gonna get any game today, this is it, Not trying to say anything, but this is it. This is it. Let's get the next game now. We've got a little older of a game, but also if you're in the mood for a challenge, Bloodborne, my friend. Bloodborne. This game, not being it, is incredibly challenging. Essentially, if you're a masochist, this is it for you. I don't really know if it has much of a storyline, but essentially, you're a badass hunter. You fight and kill monsters and shit. What's the name of this city here? I'm trying to figure it out. It says, face your fears in this ancient city where danger, death, and madness lurk around every corner and uncover the city's darkest secrets in order to survive. Doesn't say what the name of the city is. I was trying to remember, but there's some weird stuff going on in the city. There's some kind of plague, and needless to say, you're running around monster hunting, which is great. But it's incredibly challenging because the monsters come at you in massive waves, and the game is very unforgiving if you don't know how to play. I don't think there's a difficulty option either, so it's kind of like the newest game, Sekiro. If you've heard of that, it's very similar to that. Or if you've played the Dark Souls games, the Dark Souls series, it's kind of similar to that. Really tough stuff, man. It's punishing. And if you get to a checkpoint and you die, you're going back to where you started. You know, there ain't no, let's start from this spot. There's no saving in certain areas. So, very challenging, but also very fun. Next. Let's see here. Okay, let's do these two in combination. We've got Dragon Ball Xenoverse, yeah, and Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. There's two games. I have not beaten the first game in its entirety, and I've never actually played the second one. But this is a very interesting game because it's different from other Dragon Ball games because you get to create your own character, and your own character is in the Dragon Ball universe. And essentially what he's doing from a storyline perspective is he's going back and trying to fix the timeline. There is a nefarious individual, a villain, who's going through the timeline and messing things up. And it's your job as the protagonist to fix the timeline and put it back to how it was. So it's a very unique and interesting Dragon Ball Z game because it actually has a unique storyline specific to this game that does not exist in the animes. So that makes it worth playing because a lot of the Dragon Ball Z games, as I'm sure you know, are pretty repetitive. You're kind of doing the same thing over and over again. You're playing through the storyline, which if you're like me and you're a Dragon Ball Z nerd, you know the story front to back, like the back of your hand, which I definitely do. I can recite it to you. That's for another time. So, it's a really unique game. And then when it comes to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, I'm not entirely sure because I haven't played it, but it does look like it's more of the same in the sense that there's some continuation of the story. I will update you on this. I recommend getting this first just to try it out and see if you like it. And then while you're doing that, I'll test out Xenoverse 2. I can let you know. I haven't played Xenoverse 2 because it has characters from Dragon Ball Super, I believe, an anime that I have not yet watched too much. So have to get into that because I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I just haven't had time. So that's how it is. It's how it goes sometimes. All right, this is the last PlayStation 4 game we've got today to show you. This is Infamous Second Son. If you've played the Infamous series, I'm a big fan. This is the third installment in the game. There's Infamous 1 and 2, which I recommend playing first. My favorite video games probably my favorite video game ever is Infamous, honestly. The first and second games. Love those games. Great fucking story. It's amazing. We don't actually have it in stock, unfortunately, but what you can do is buy this game today, go home on the PlayStation Store and download Infamous 1 and 2. It should be really cheap. Game's been out for over a decade, so shouldn't cost you too much. Play those and then go back to this one. I've got a sale for this game today for $15, so worth it, I think. Don't pay attention to the sticker, it's outdated. It's 15, it's half price, not 35. But essentially, the Infamous series, you play a superpower. You're a superhero who has superpowers. But it's not all that, like, you know, superhero stuff where you're wearing a cape and stuff. It's a lot more modern, I would say. And you basically fight, you know, other evil criminals and stuff who also happen to have superpowers. Ton of fun. Highly recommended. Can't say enough good things. Although I will say, this is the weakest of the trilogy by far. So that is unfortunate, but it is. Different main protagonists, different story. There doesn't seem to be a connection between the three, between this one and the other two. So just being completely transparent. I don't like to sell my customers on lies, as you know. Okay, and now we're going to play, no, we're not gonna play, we're going to be showing you PlayStation 3 games next. And we're gonna kick it off with a really strong game, Red Dead Redemption. As I was saying earlier, with Red Dead Redemption 2, this came out, you know, a decade ago practically, and it still stands the test of time. Same thing as Red Dead Redemption 2, except this takes place in 1911, I believe. It's actually, even though this is the first game in the series, this is actually a sequel from a timeline perspective. So it takes place after the second game. And you play as John Marston, a rugged cowboy outlaw who's trying to hunt down his former gang. Great stuff. We have it on sale today. $5 if you want it. Highly recommend it. You know, it's one of those games, and this is why I opened this store in the first place. A lot of people look, oh, it's a PlayStation 3 game, whatever. I'm not going to play PlayStation 3 games anymore. PlayStation 4 is out. You know, the PS5's coming out soon. What are you going to try to do? Sell me PlayStation 2 games next? Come on. Don't be ridiculous. But for me, it's like, you know, the story and content is what's important. Don't worry about the graphics. It stands the test of time if you're engaged and immersed in the world. And that's what's important. So let me read you the synopsis really quick. It's America, 1911. The Wild West is dying. When federal agents threaten his family, former outlaw John Marston is forced to pick up his guns again and hunt down the gang of criminals he once called friends. Experience an epic fight for survival across the sprawling expanses of the American West and Mexico, as John Marston struggles to bury his blood-stained past, one man at a time. And he's in the second game too, a younger version of him, obviously. So it almost makes sense to play the second game first than the first one, if you think about it. They kind of went backwards for some reason, but because the second game has much better graphics and quality of life features, I would still recommend playing this game first. Rockstar, honestly, is a company that is they're always putting out a quality product, in my opinion. They do try to, you know, cash grab with their online services and stuff, but you can always trust that they're putting out a quality product. Just go on Twitch and you see Grand Theft Auto 5, a game that's been like out for 5 years, is still in the top viewed games on Twitch. It's insane, you know? So they're always putting out a quality product. So whatever you buy from them, you can always trust that you're gonna get your money's worth and your hours worth to some extent. You know, you may get 30 hours worth or 40 hours worth, but it's worth the money because you're gonna have a good time. So definitely recommend Red Dead Redemption. Definitely, 100%. All right, and next we have, so this is gonna be a weird recommendation, but bear with me. I know that no one's playing this online anymore, most likely. You never know, but I'm gonna do it. Just gonna do it. Don't roll your eyes when I do it, okay? Just bear with me. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. All right, now before the pitchforks and all that rage comes out, just hear me out. I know the Call of Duty franchise is pretty much a disgrace at this point, and these games come out every year like clockwork, and they're just a cash grab. I know that. But I still maintain Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is the best game in the entire series, in the entire franchise. I put in so many hours of this when I was in, my early days of college. It is a phenomenal game, or, rather, I think I was in probably a senior in high school, if I recall. I was young. And I put so many hours on this with my friend, man. It was such a fun game. I don't know where it went wrong, but this game has a certain charm and just, it has personality, you know? Like, it was a good fucking game. Online was great. It was just, it's where, I don't know, the first person shooter was at its peak, I think. Nowadays, not so much, but you know, we've got other games now, Apex Legends and Fortnite and things like this. Call of Duty's kind of like, it's run out of ideas, I think. But this game stands the test of time. We're selling it for $2.99 because I know you're gonna go online and you'll be lucky if you find anybody in the lobbies. I doubt it. But $2.99 is practically free, honestly. If you, I'm almost inclined to give it away at this point, just so people can get the experience, test it out. And you know, if nothing else, just play through the story. You know, just play through the story. It's a good story too. It's a great game, honestly. Can't say enough good things about it. Yeah. And there are two companies that make these games, by the way. You've got Infinity Ward, Activision, and you've got, I know Activision, they're like the evil empire. And you've got Treyarch, who make the Black Ops games where you play Nazi zombies and whatnot, which is also pretty good. Depends on what your taste is. Another game that I put in too many hours with my friends, we would go on vacation and play this game. It was pretty funny. Late night, I remember. Tekken 5. Man, this game, man. I remember we'd go to Pennsylvania, to the Poconos on vacation. Instead of trying to talk to girls, we'd be playing until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning playing this fucking game. It's pretty crazy, but it's so much fun. You know, spamming the same move, putting your friend in the corner, you know, you're just like, kicking him like this, and he can't fight back, and he dies, and he just gets so mad he almost throws the controller out the window. Priceless. And this is one of those games that you can still play this today, and it's timeless. You know, you don't need to go online. Get a couple friends over, crack some beers open, some nice frosted beers, and bring this bad boy out. You'll have yourself a good time. Watch your friends get their asses whooped and flip the fuck out, and you're just gonna have a ball of laughs, I promise. You know, fuck that, what's that thing called? Cards Against Humanity Flip Cup. Fuck that shit. Take a shot every time someone rages after getting killed in this game. You're gonna have yourself a good party, 100%. I recommend this. This will be a crowd pleaser for sure. Not for everyone, only the people that are good at this type of shit, but yeah, it's a fighting game, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. You should know this. Tekken is a pretty popular franchise. Yeah, so definitely try this out. It's $3.99. All right, next we have the last PS3 game to show you today. The Last of Us. This has come out remastered for the PlayStation 4. It's true, but this we're selling today for $6.99. This is a zombie story-based game. You play as Joel and Ellie brought together by harsh circumstances, and you must survive a brutal journey across the U.S. in a dangerous post-pandemic world. Well, you're mostly playing as Joel, and it's exactly what you think it is. It's a survival game where you have to fight off zombies and stuff, but it's a good story. It's got a lot of heart, a lot of personality. You can tell a lot of work went into creating this game. Naughty Dog, they're responsible for creating Uncharted, as you know, which is another great series. And a lot of, you can tell a lot of work went into this game. And it's just a great story. Great story. Great take on zombies. You know, they create some different kinds of zombies we've never seen before. So they really innovate a little bit, you know? They don't just rehash the same tired, you know, that stuff. It's a little different. They've got these zombies called clickers, which basically they have no eyes. It's just a giant mouth jaw thing that just, you know, and they're called clickers because they can hear really well. They can hear sonic frequencies. So when they're around, you kind of have to be careful and sneak around them. So there's some strategy in the game and stuff. But it's just a fucking great game, man. Great game. Love this game. It's awesome. All right, and now we're up to the final piece. We're going to show you some Nintendo DS games. And I also have a 3DS game here too. So a couple 3DS, but you can play 3DS games on your DS, so it's all good. Okay, so first, one of my favorite animes of all time, Bleach. Bleach Dark Souls, by the way. $4.99, not $29.99. I have to take this sticker off, but yeah, man, Bleach Dark Souls, and I've got Bleach Third Phantom. Now, if I had to recommend which game you should play, they're both very different. Bleach Dark Souls is kind of like real-time fighting game. You know, you're back and forth, kind of like a Street Fighter or whatever. And then Bleach Third Phantom is more of a board strategy game where you move around a board, you collide, and you have to like take turns attacking each other. So they're very different games in execution, and they both have different stories. And they both have exclusive storylines that are not in the anime. So if you've watched the anime and you're a big fan, I highly recommend picking these up because they both have their own storylines. I should mention though, however, that in this game you're playing as all the characters that you're familiar with, particularly Ichigo, but in this game you play as two characters that don't actually exist in the anime. So that's just something that you should take note of because, you know, if you're interested, you don't get to really play as Ichigo. So that's really it. But these are great games. I love the Bleach anime series. Big fan of the storyline. And if you are too, then I recommend picking these two up because they're fantastic. That's all I can really say about it. It's a good game. Great music too. Really good music, you know? Let's see here. Okay, perfect. So next, Dragon Ball Z. Love Dragon Ball Z. Another Dragon Ball Z game. I know, Attack of the Saiyans. This is a very interesting game because it only focuses exclusively on the Vegeta Nappa storyline. So you're pretty much going through that and it ends there. So that's kind of a bummer a little bit. But it's a fun game in terms of like its execution. But I would definitely say it's a little weaker of the Dragon Ball Z games. But it's worth checking out. We're selling it today for $2.99, so might as well pick it up, see what it's like. There's no English voice acting, if that's something that's important to you. But you know, I love the Dragon Ball Z series. It's a childhood favorite of mine. I can't say enough good things about what it's done for me. You know, in my childhood, it really, really did take my childhood to a whole new level in terms of enjoyment and memories. You know, I have so many fond memories of Dragon Ball Z that any game that comes out is, at least to me, worth a look. Call it nostalgia, whatever you will, but it's, you know, to me, it's just worth checking out anyway. At any rate, let me show you two other games that the series is in my heart always, is Pokemon, right? Pokemon Y and Pokemon Black. Black version. Black version is the older of the two. But if you've played any Pokemon game, and I'm sure you have, you know the gist of it. You know, you go around catching Pokemon and battling and leveling them up, and you know, Pokemon Black, definitely known to have one of the best storylines in a Pokemon game, of any Pokemon game. And Pokemon games never really have such good storylines, as I'm sure you know. It's mostly about the catching of the Pokemon and the battling, leveling them up and such. But this game does tend to be known as the best story, Pokemon story-based game. So that's pretty cool. And then Pokemon Y is one of the newer Pokemon games. And what is unique about this game is that it's the first Pokemon game to introduce 3D battles. Up until this game, you know, every battle was two-dimensional, as I'm sure you know. So this Pokemon game changed everything by introducing 3D battles, similar to what you used to see in Pokemon Stadium and such. And it was the first Pokemon game to have that, those 3D attack animations introduced, and that's what makes it really stand out. And you know, it's worth giving this a try. It's cool to see your character running around in a 3D environment as well. So it was very unique in that sense, and that's what makes it stand out. I will be honest though, from a story perspective, it's not the best. You know, there ain't anything about the story to me that really stands out. So, but it's cool to see the new environment. But if you can wait, I'd probably wait for Sword and Shield to come out, whenever that is. But you know, we're selling this for $15 today, and this one for $5. So you know, if you want to check it out, you can. It won't cost you too much to do so. Obviously, I don't expect you to buy all of these games today, so you can pick and choose whichever one you find the most intriguing. Lastly, I have One Piece Romance Dawn. One Piece is one of my favorite animes as well. I honestly stopped watching it after like episode 400 because it was episode 400. You know, this is like, I'm talking about 10 years ago, and it just keeps going, you know, and by now I think I'm like 200 episodes behind, and I stopped at like episode 400. So, you know, it's crazy. It just keeps going. It's too long, but it's a great story to start with. I honestly can say I've never played this game. Got it as a gift one Christmas, and I just never tried playing it. I don't know why. I think I was behind the story at that point, and I decided not to. But, you know, if you've never played a One Piece game, and I'll be honest, I never have, it's worth checking out. You know, so I don't know what the mechanics are in this game. It says you can build your own combat strategy and defeat your enemies using devastating combos. So, experience the first-person One Piece RPG, level up your crew, improve their abilities, and craft new items and accessories. So, and you relive, what did I say? Relive the Straw Hat Crew's epic adventure, and you follow the original anime storyline. So, you know, it's true to the anime, so it might be worth checking out. So, yeah. So what do you think? Anything that catches your attention? I know I showed you a lot, so take some time to think it through, and, you know, I can head to the back and grab it for you. What do you think? Yeah? Cool. So those three. Okay. Yeah, I knew you would like, I knew that you would be into Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. That's 100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And the Pokemon. Okay. Yeah, you mix it up, you know. The 2 and then a Pokemon game. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Definitely go home and try downloading the Infamous series and try it out. Come back and then get the second one. Promise you it'll be worth it. Or that's the third one, rather. Play the first 2 and see how good you are. Or how invested you are in the storyline, and then come back. Second Son, maybe it's not worth it to you. I understand completely. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to go in the back and grab those. I'll come back out, and you can get on out of here and have yourself a good time. All right, awesome. Just going to grab them real quick. These are just for displays. I'm going to get you fresh copies because those are all open and scratched and whatnot and stuff. As you can tell by the packaging, really beat up. So I'm going to get you some fresh new packages, and we'll be on our way. Awesome. Great. Thank you. Debit or credit? Just want to make sure because the machine broke a couple days ago. It's like people get mad when I tell them they have to pay with cash. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let me get the games for you and we'll be all set.